Hey everybody, Cousin Len here with a video for CanCon podcast. Um, I'm also on another podcast, Twin Cousins Wrestling Podcast. We're going to be recording, fingers crossed, this Sunday, and we haven't recorded for a couple months now. But we're going to have a more loosey-goosey format on that one. It's probably going to turn into, it's wrestling based, but I'm sure we'll be talking other pop culture references or anything that pops in our head as we're talking of wrestling. It's probably going to be more news oriented and things like that. But last week on the CanCon podcast, the musical group was the Sadies, and it was all music from Colder Streams. This album here, I got a reissue last week, and I've been listening to it almost nonstop. If you like 60s psychedelic and you like country, this is a good mashup. Colder Streams was the 11th studio album from the Sadies. It was released July 22nd of last year, and it's on Dynalone Records here in Canada and Yep Rock Records in the United States. The album was recorded principally at Skyborn Studio in Montreal by producer Richard Reed Perry, with the band largely recording their parts solo or in duos due to social distancing restrictions at the time, because we were in COVID, and sounds like restrictions are going to be coming back this year. Several months before his death, Good had composed a new tongue-in-cheek anti-biography for the band's profile on Yep Rock's website, poking fun at the inflated public relations hype typical in music marketing by calling Colder Streams by far the best record that has ever been made by anyone ever. It's pretty good though. Not the best ever, but it's pretty good. This album is going to be played a lot here in the Hilson compound, and it has been. Being in my late 40s, I've been listening to and enjoying mellower music lately. I'm getting more into like ELO and Jethro Tull. I'm going back in time a lot. Dad rock, basically. That's what I've been listening to. I'm in those years now. But I still got that punk in me. I still got the hard rock in me. I still listen to all that stuff. But yeah, I just wanted to post this video on Colder Streams. If you haven't heard it, or you haven't even heard of the Sadies, a lot of people haven't. Start here and work your way backwards. They also worked, there was an album, 2 albums I believe, with Gord Downey. The Sadies were the backup band for it. Before Gord passed away, I think it was one of his last recordings was with them. And they're a really good, tight-knit group, and I hope to get more from them. Yeah, go out, get this album. It's on high rotation here at the compound, like I said, and keep your ears and eyes open for a new episode of CanCon Podcast weekly on Spotify, and also check out Twin Cousins Wrestling Podcast, also on Spotify. We're going to be doing bi-weekly on the Wrestling Cousins Twin Podcast as my work schedule. I work every other weekend, so we're just going to make it so that we're not forcing things together. And we're also making it so we're not taking notes during wrestling. Cousin Rob and I are going to be able to sit back, watch the shows, and whatever sticks in our craniums, that's what the big parts of the show were for us. So keep your eyes, ears peeled for all those on our social media websites. CanCon, the podcast, Facebook, also on Instagram, and CanCon and Twin Cousins Wrestling Podcast on Instagram, and we have a Facebook page as well. So please check those out. There's also a YouTube channel for Twin Cousins Wrestling Podcast. I believe there's 2 videos with my big ugly mug in it, but we'll try to utilize that more too. Maybe we'll go live on that Sunday while we're jibber jabbering away, and maybe not for the whole podcast, give you a little taste, and then you'll have to head over to Spotify and listen to the rest of it. But that's it. Colder Streams, the Sadies. That was our music last week. On this week's show, I'm probably not going to do a video on the musical, whatever I'm getting the music from this week. It's the Guess Who. I think the only vinyl I have of theirs is a Greatest Hits, unfortunately. But yeah, I'll try to think of a different video to do for this week. Probably going to be, I could rant about the government, but a lot of people do that. So that's it. I'm Cousin Len. Keep your ears and eyes open for the new CanCon podcast. Peace.